Hi, welcome to Mountain Crypto. I'm your host Shane Ripley, and today you probably saw the crypto chicken and the market. Nobody's really too excited about the market right now. It's up, it's down, we're all waiting for something exciting to happen. But what I do when I'm not doing that is I take care of my ranch. And one of the things I wanted to share with you today is my mobile chicken coop, and I call it the Coop de Ville. So I'm just going to go through, and if it's maybe something never heard of, never thought of, but we all have our dreams. Some guys want Lambos. I joke that a Lambo to me is a lamb with a bow on it, right? So anyway, this chicken coop came from a lot of different ideas, and if you're into homesteading or just being more sufficient or teaching your kids where stuff came from, you can buy a real easy built chicken coop. This one I built about a couple years ago, and it is actually a mobile chicken coop. It was meant to be a chicken tractor, but the country here is a little rugged, and moving it around posed just too much of a problem, so it's become more of a stationary chicken coop. So I have had a bit of an injury lifting, so I'm not going to lift anything today, but I will take you through and show you what it is. It's also a solar powered chicken coop, and we're out here in the hills of East San Diego County, as I've often shown you the view of the mountains in the back there. We have a lot of things to detour critters. I don't have a camera person, so hopefully this won't be too unprofessional, but this night guard here you can buy on Amazon. It flickers a red light that blinks. It's solar powered. We have them on a couple different ends, 2 or 3 different ends of the unit, so at night these flicker on a red light, which so far we haven't had any issues with anything attacking the coop itself. We have lost a couple animals. The fence that you see around the outside edge is a electric fence. It's a poultry netting, and once we move this, after I get my my hernia fixed, we'll move this downhill and put it on solar. I've got a solar powered electric fence. It's got a little panel and a charger, and it'll do several miles of electric fencing. So we'll be 100% solar powered. Another thing that's solar powered rather, and I'll just see if I can tune it in there a little bit better, is the door of the chicken coop is solar paneled, and we'll look at that a little bit closer. But one of the things I wanted to do was make it mobile, so you can actually, once this door's closed right here, the chickens are in there, and they're pretty safe. There's a little latch right here, and you could actually pick this up right here on this end. I've rolled it around when I was in better condition, and then you can also, on the back side, and we'll zoom in, but on the back side I used a electrical grounding rod. They're a steel rod that's dipped in copper. I cut that and I drilled a couple holes, and I can actually put wheels on the back of that and roll it around. It is made, the base is all made with redwood, so it is rot resistant, termite resistant, and that's a good thing. So sometimes it gets pretty hot out here, so that's why you see the shade on there. So we'll zoom in here for a little closer look. You can see the door there, the little black box on the top right side is the little electric motor. The wires go around the back. I have a sensor for daylight sensor, and I have it set. It comes on at dusk, and it shuts off about 90 minutes after dusk. Originally I had this little, you see the X, that little door there, and I think it might still function. It will roll down and close, and you can see the little pulley on top. You can do that from outside the cage, actually roll up the little barn door up and down. So kind of cool. So if you can see right here, this is the copper rod, slides through right here, and then the wheels, oh shoot, I'm not even pointed over this way here. not very professional here, but I'll try to zero in here so you can see. So the copper rod, it just goes right through here, and then the tire attaches. You've got a little washer and a little carter key. Just drill a hole through there and lift up the back, put it on some blocks, get one tire on, use a pry bar or whatever, lift up the other one, and get the tires on there. You can actually roll it around, so that's kind of handy. Some other features that I built into it, it does have a metal roof. These nest boxes here, I'm going to take the bottom one off because it probably doesn't have any eggs in it. But these boxes remove. I've got one on the other side and two on this side. These are the nesting boxes. And you just lift up like that, everything's in there. Another good thing about this is they do come out. They do come out. I have metal plates in them that come out. Right here's a metal plate. You can take that out and clean it, you know, in place. You know, we use all organic food. We use de minimis earth. That's the dust you see there. That's a de minimis earth, DE they call it, and that helps it get rid of the bugs and stuff without having to use any spray or pesticides. We're all organic here. We're a bit of cowboy hippies. So this just comes out like that. And you could theoretically close this right there and not have this nest box anymore. I can either put a screw in here or I can put another one of the hasp blocks on there, whatever I want. When I move it, I typically take all these boxes off to get rid of some of the weight and make it a little easier to move around. So that's kind of how that works. Let's see what we got here in this top nest box here. And this stair I just made out of some, composite material that was left at one of the houses I lived at, just to make it easy to climb up there and get in there and check the eggs. So let's see what we got in here. See if there's any eggs in here. I got a couple out of here earlier, but there's a couple more eggs right there. You can see. So, and then I have the latches on here to keep the critters out. And again, all these boxes just come right off, real simple. And you can just zip a screw in there if you don't want to use them. Now, let me see how the camera view is here. Just trying to adjust this down a little bit. So down here in the back, again, you can see that if this pole were in here, I'm not going to put it in here right now because, like I said, I can't lift anything, but this wheel would go here with that nut, and then this one would go over here, and you could lift it up, and you can, on flat ground, I can roll it pretty easily. This is just a way if you want to keep the water and the food under here. When I first had them and they were a little bit smaller, I kept the food and water over here. Now that they're bigger, I use some other techniques for that, so I'll show you that. There you can see the solar panel. This is what powers the automatic door right here. Doesn't get much sun. There's a lot of trees right here, but yet it's still enough to get it to work. Also, here's the sensor right here. Let's see. Is it tuned in enough? Yeah. Right here is the sensor, the photo sensor. It's even labeled photo sensor. The battery's up in the top here. This does open, and will get me. I'm not going to open it all the way because the wires will come out, but let me see if I can. You can see I keep the battery up in there. It's right up in there behind that metal there that kind of protects it. So that's where the battery is. The reason I built these little openings at the top was originally we were going to get 12 chickens. And a friend of ours ended up sending us 17 chickens. So I had to add this extra nest box up here, which is probably better. They like the higher one anyway. And all that. So this one opens here like that. So I was able to get up in here and clean. Now I have these on both sides. Both ones open up. It's really convenient. There's another one. Let me see how good the view is here. There's another one of the critter lights right here. I've got one on that side, and nothing else. Okay. These vents will open and close on the top when it's hotter. I don't know if you can see that. This vent right here will open and close when it's hotter to get some ventilation through here. In the winter, they don't really need to be opened. But this whole door opens up right here, you can see, and I have complete access to my chicken coop. Battery's right up here, and this whole bottom comes out, slides out, so you can take the whole bottom section out right here and clean or whatever you need to do. So I have my daughter paint on the inside, so it's kind of wild. We just used some leftover paint. You can see it looks pretty wild. But and then the vent holes are down on the bottom. They're kind of covered up with stuff right there, but that creates it's okay. Creates some bit of flow. So they roost on these at night, and we scrape them off and clean in here from time to time. And that was a heat light right there. We don't use it anymore, but just a heat light when they were a little younger, or if it gets super cold. But you know, it's a real fire hazard. So we don't really need it out here since we're in California. Now let me show you the inside, and we'll look at a couple of the features in there that are kind of handy. Originally, when I was doing the water, I was using this container here. The top comes off, you fill it up. You know, it's fine. It gets a lot of rust in it. Right now, my wife's been filling this big one up here. It holds about 3 gallons. And this is the grandpa feeder right here, which is real cool. I've got one chicken that's not too smart. Doesn't seem to know how to open it. But the other chickens have figured out how to open it. They just step on it, and it opens up, and they get food. So at night, I make sure it's closed, and in the morning before I get up, they've got it open. They've opened it up themselves, and they're eating out of it. So they totally get it. It takes quite a while for them to get used to that. And I guess that's about it. I would recommend, if you get chickens, to get one if for the only reason that you get to put so much food in there. You can put several pounds of food in there. So anyway, I didn't even have to give a disclaimer today. That's going to be all. I'm going to try and do something on cryptocurrency this week. Like I said, I had the injury, so it's put me behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And thank you for tuning in to Mountain Crypto and looking at a little bit of what we do on the side when we're not doing cryptocurrency and such. So this is your host, Shane Ripley, over and out.